I'm not feeling it. Let's see what can we do? I never have a goddamn plan anymore. I'm just like doing random shit. You guys are still hanging out with me, doing the most random shit ever. Let's do this. This seems interesting. Let's get rid of my bulb drink. Oh goddamn! I'm confusing you guys. Just use cat pet. Oh man.
Hi, I'm Griffin Johnson, the armchair historian. Beyond the realm of sensible history,
Hello.
Nazi science and engineering conjures stories of 1,000-ton tanks, flying saucers, and even orbital space lasers. Fanciful tales that were sometimes detrimental to Germany's more productive designs. Today, we see what separates fact from fiction with the German wonder weapons of the Second World War.
Do you guys think that Hitler ever raised a zombie army or anything? Or do you think he really was doing black magic rituals? That's what I heard he was into.
Special thanks
Then he
to the
wanted
sponsor.
To raise the dead. Oh wait, hold on.
Help you achieve ultimate victory. Premium subscription. With some concepts that came out of Germany, however, a few were downright conspiratorial. Perhaps the most famous of these make-believe marvels was Die Glocke, or the Bell, described as an anti-gravity flying saucer made by the Nazis.
America has a psychic branch? I wouldn't doubt it, dude. That sounds about right. You know, the CIA is involved in some weird shit, dude. Allegedly, only in GTA, of course.
But never actually deployed. Credible research and evidence claims that no such device was ever proposed or even existed at all. Yet the myth stubbornly clings to the fringes of historical conspiracies since its first appearance in Igor Vitkovsky's book, The Truth About the Wunderwaffe, back in 2000.
Yeah, I think they did.
Veering out of pure fiction, we step out into the less ridiculed but nonetheless amusing world of proposals. Here, the most bizarre idea came in the form of the Zonengewehr.
I don't know why these two cartoon dudes made me really hungry for hamburgers.
Or sun gun. This theoretical design was first proposed by German physicist Hermann Oberth in 1929, who drew up plans for a space station equipped with a 9 square kilometer concave mirror which would concentrate reflected sunlight onto the Earth for a devastating effect. Oberth's idea was adopted by a group of German scientists at the German Army Artillery Proving Grounds at Hillersleben, where the plans for this orbital death ray were seriously considered. And the scientists in charge of the project believed that construction could be completed within 50 to 100 years. In actuality, the concept was flawed from the start, given how light interacts with mirrors at certain focal lengths. Simply put, the proposed distance of the Zonengewehr from the Earth would have produced a reflection from the sun numbering around 64 kilometers in diameter, too large to produce any kind of damaging heat.
You know what? I'm a default Andy, though. I like Frank's Red Hot and Louisiana hot sauce, so those are my two hot sauces of choice.
Worst, the Allies would have to squint their eyes looking up at the sky. The more realistic aspects of Germany's research and development delved into the capabilities of tanks on the battlefield. These experiments were pushed to their limits through several projects. One such vehicle was the Kugelpanzer, also known as the ball tank. This small, one-man armored vehicle is shrouded in mystery, as no records or documentation have ever been found. Only one prototype was discovered, and it was actually captured by the Soviets in 1945 after being given to the Japanese. Its design, specifically its lack of armament, suggested that the ball tank may have been envisioned for
I'm sorry, the ball tank? Wait, how does that work? Hold on, wait a second. So is that like, okay, so let's refresh this. So wait a video.
reconnaissance. The Landkreuzer P-1000 Ratte, or RAT, was another experimental tank concept. It was a proposed super heavy tank that would have weighed 1,000 tons and featured two 280mm SKC-34 naval cannons as its primary armaments. The plans for the RAT were approved by Adolf Hitler himself in 1942, but there is some debate among historians about whether the massive blueprints discovered after the war were ever truly intended for production. Contrasting the rather wild concepts of German armor, like the Kugelpanzer, more serious programs were established that looked to create a new type of super heavy class tank. These tanks were intended to be superior.
But actually, maybe we should have finished this diagram. Hold on. So anyway, and so like I guess like, but yeah.
Superior to the tanks used by the Allies, with heavier armor and more powerful guns. The initial idea of the RAT's 1,000-ton design was scrapped, yet the core idea was never fully dropped, as work began on the Panzer VIII Mouse, weighing in at a more conservative 180 tons. It was nonetheless monstrous in weight as well as armament, with its 128mm and 75mm cannons.
Holy shit, the
this
video
weight
is really
also
loud.
led
Let
to
me
a
turn
number
down
of
a
technical and logistical problems. Ultimately, only 2 prototypes were completed.
Is that much better, guys? Is that less loud?
Despite many of these projects beginning in the early war, experimental weapon development began receiving serious attention around mid to late 1942. Albert Speer, the Minister of Armaments and War Production, oversaw the establishment of the Wunderwaffen program, part of his effort to boost the legitimacy of Hitler's regime through propaganda based on arms
much easier to hear me. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I forgot that I turned the volume up like max jam
manufacturing, and leaned heavily into the promise of these incredible miracle weapons as a means of turning the tide of the war. The most notable of these projects were the V1 and V2 rocket programs. While technically impressive, the targeting capabilities of these weapons were extremely inaccurate.
You know, yesterday I was dreaming about Bill Cosby. Wait, I do not know how to clarify this dream. Never mind, let's move on.
Launched from sites within Axis territory, these rockets were only viable for indiscriminate bombing.
Not in this essential way. It was just a normal Bill Cosby dream.
Of large urban centers like London or Antwerp, killing approximately 18,000 people during the war.
Not the Roofie Colada version of Bill Cosby, like the pudding pop
exclusively
version.
By slave laborers drawn from the inmates of the Mittelbau-Dora concentration camp in central Germany. Thousands of these laborers were subject
because he kept wanting to put Jello. Well, he wanted to keep putting Jello pudding pops on my body. Wait. That's hard to explain. Never mind. Moving on.
Conditions, with many dying as a result. In addition to the V weapons,
a lot of things count as normal Bill Cosby dreams. You know what I mean?
Heavy class tanks led to the adoption of the Tiger II, also known as the King Tiger. It was heavily.
Wait, guys, hold on. Let me. Guys, you're not understanding. Like, sometimes you're thinking that Bill Cosby is in your dream and they're putting chocolate pudding pops on your body and they're rubbing. Wait, god damn it. Why was Bill Cosby rubbing my thighs with pudding? Nobody fucking knows, but basically it was like a rub job, you know what I mean? But not a essential rub job. It was just your typical Bill Cosby thigh rubbing, you know what I'm saying? Normal Bill Cosby thigh rubbing that you'd have in every Bill Cosby dream. Yeah, basically normal Bill Cosby thigh rubbing. With pudding pops, Jello put all.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay? No more! Where the fuck are your parents? Who are your parents?
And damn it, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna call Child Protective Services. It's time to stop!
I'm sorry, real safe Frank.
Armed and armored, weighing roughly 70 tons, and required a crew of 5 to operate.
You guys never
The
have
Tiger
dreams like
II
this?
was considered one of the most powerful tanks of the war, with
Am
a
I the only
powerful
one that dreams of Bill
88mm gun
Cosby thigh
and
rubbing?
thick armor, but its production was slow
Jello
and
pudding
costly,
pops,
and
Jello
only saw
chocolate pudding
limited
pops.
use on the eastern and western fronts. Advancements in jet aircraft design led to the eventual creation of the Heinkel HE-162 and Messerschmitt ME-262.
God damn it, I feel so
Along with
lonely.
these was the ME-163 Comet, the world's first operational rocket-powered fighter,
The
which
world's
essentially
first
used a
operational
rocket
couch
engine
fighter.
to take off at absurd speeds, making it the first piloted aircraft to exceed 1,000
Guys, come on, don't leave me hanging. Like, surely you guys have dreams about Jello pudding pop, thigh rubbing by Bill Cosby.
kilometers per hour in level flight, overshadowing the frightening reputation of its highly volatile and corrosive rocket propellant, which killed more than its fair share of pilots.
Yes, I'm no.
Outside vehicular development, more productive and
I
substantial
got quite a head of.
projects to come
I
out
think
of
I
the
have
Wonder
a
Weapon
big fat head.
programs
Wait, what?
include the
Wait, hold on.
STG-44, the world's first operational assault rifle,
My
which
dream
some
last
say
night was being an
inspired the
adventure mixed between modern Earth and the pan. Oh man, you have cool dreams.
Soviets' AK-47, but the two guns did not share much in common on the technical
The only cool dreams I had is we're doing story time. I have to have music. OCD, OCD. But anyways, I was dreaming one time that I was in a Cool Whip factory and I was like fucking swinging around like Tarzan. I was like in a Cool Whip factory and I was swinging around chains like Tarzan, and like I ended up naked and falling into the Cool Whip. And then, like, I got eaten by zombies. It was sucky. But it was kind of a cool dream because there's Cool Whip. There's not much to that story now that I think about it.
level. Along with small arms breakthroughs, support equipment was also devised, like the Zielgerät 1229 Vampire, an infrared gun sight for the STG-44 that served as one of the first night vision devices used in all warfare.
Oh, the
While
vampire!
impressive, these
Vampires! Look at
breakthroughs
that.
arrived during Nazi Germany's perpetual crippling resource shortages, which prevented any of these devices from being produced in significant enough numbers to make any real difference in the war. Notably among Germany's engineering ventures, the Nazis also had
Guys,
a
what
nuclear
kind of
weapons
shampoo do you
program
guys
known
use?
as the Uranverein, or
I
Uranium Club,
use
which made
it
significant
rose,
progress toward
the
developing
rose,
nuclear warheads to go on to the V2 missiles. However,
Herbal
the program
essences.
was consistently held back by a lack of available funding
So you were
and
naked covered
resources.
in whipped cream?
Ultimately,
Yeah, I got
the
eaten by
Allied-led
I got eaten
Operation
by
Gunnercide
zombies.
destroyed production facilities in
But I know why I had that dream. I can explain that one because I was watching Return of the Living Dead, and there's this scene with this lady dancing on a gravestone, and she's naked as fuck, and it's like for 5 minutes of her just dancing with this 80s music blasting. It was a cool zombie movie.
involved in the manufacturing of heavy water, vital to the program at Vemork,
Old
Norway,
Spice.
which
Old Spice will
derailed
make you
the
have
Uranium
nipples,
Club
man.
and ended any chance of German nuclear
Well, I mean-
warheads
I mean, I
becoming
have
a
nipples.
reality.
Old
After the
Spice is
war,
not what's
most
required
of these
for you to have
weapons
nipples.
prototypes and testing grounds were captured intact by the Allies. Information picked out for destruction was related to human experimentation and other crimes against humanity. However, many of these researchers involved in these Wunderwaffen
You know what's crazy
projects
though? I've
were
been
brought
taking
over to the
my
United
ADD
Kingdom,
medicine
Soviet
and it makes my
Union, and
nipples
United
rock hard.
States
I feel like
to
some kind of
continue
sex
their work
pervert or
well
something.
into the Cold War. What other wonder weapons would you
Like
like
my
to see
nipples are
next?
constantly
Be
rock
sure
hard
to
because of
discuss
this
them in the
medicine. I don't know what it
comments
means
for a
though.
future video.
At least I don't start lactating or something.
Thanks again to our sponsor, Call of War.
But it'd be really embarrassing if they did, you know?